So we've got our secateurs, there's a couple of them brambles done, got our smoker, let's give it a go. Got our little blast inside. So first things first, get some of this bramble out the way. This is one of the main hives that we want to look at. I've got a spare box in the car, if need be. That's what we like to see. Bees at the top. And again, this all looks quite well. Looks to me like we've got a few frames untouched. Oh, it's not going to make the bees very happy. Having the wind blow the crown board over. That lovely honey. All capped. On its way to being capped. What we're also looking for is to make sure the queen's not laying up top still. And so far I can't see any eggs. If you remember, we don't have any queen excluders on these. We wanted to optimise the bees and let the queen lay as many eggs as she could. There's pay cups on the bottom there. These look like they would have been brood. It's now hatched out. This is all capped, so basically that still would have been part of the colony. So I would expect to see some brood on this frame. And there we are. We've still got brood and larvae. I'm pretty sure that I found the queen in this hive, or was it the one next door? I know I've got a marked queen in one of them. Right, that gives us a brood and a half. So I'm not going to be pinching any honey off these guys this year, and I don't think it's worth putting a super on. because it looks like they've still got a few frames to fill up. You leave all this honey for them to survive the winter. Right, it does look like the queen has slowed down because I can't see any eggs in that one. We've got brood, and it looks like they're filling up the old brood with honey. It's got a lot of honey in it, that one. Just filled by the weight of it. And let's think, by the feel of it, coming onto the end of the brood nest. It's all honey. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got 5 frames that they've not filled yet. So it really is pointless putting a super on that. But we will put a super on it next year, right at the start of the season. Now really, I've got no need to look in the brood. We know that everything's good in the super. I'm quite happy to leave that as is. We'll have another check on them later on in the year, just to see how much of the honey they've eaten. So, all good in that one. Oh, they've stuck the lid on this one, good. Bees, for those who don't keep them, love gluing everything together. Oh, look at that. Oh God. So these girls wanted another super. It's such a shame when we destroy wax like that. But obviously these girls wanted another frame, or another super, another level to their hive. God, look at it. Lots of honey. So even though they still had another 3 frames that they could build on, they decided to go up. So I'm going to nip down to the car and get another super just to put on these girls, try and stop them doing that. All of this is going to have to be scraped off, so we try and get the bees to go down by putting smoke on them. But then what we will do is scrape all of that off, and actually turn this lid upside down and put all the honey inside the lid. these guys have got a dummy board, or what we call a dummy board, which just allows us to have a bit more space. We take the dummy board out and straight away it gives us more room. This first one they've just started building on. The second one is honey. Hiya. Yeah, it's all looking good so far. Got brood and larvae. And we've still got eggs being laid. So the queen was there at least 3 days ago. Yeah. Lots of eggs on that side. Okay, well, we know we've got the queen in there, and we know the queen was laying 3 days ago. So we're not going to worry too much about looking for the rest. Or looking for her, I should say. We're going to nip down to the car and get the other super. I'm just nipping down to my car. So, because I've got so many bees on there, I'm not going to try and scrape it off. I'm just going to sandwich it in between that and the new super. Because you've got what they call bee space. If you see, the frames do not come down to the top or come up to the top, and the same on the bottom. So when you put a super and a brood together, there's actually enough space for a bee to walk in between. You basically take this, can be scraped off. They don't tend to reuse the wax, but they will tend to use all of this honey. They will clear it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pinch that bit of honey for myself. Would you like a bit of wild honey?
Oh. Did you leave the piece over there? Shot on the sea?
I may have. I can't remember.
Because it was there and then it disappeared, so I don't know whether animals would take it.
Foxes tend to.
Because there is a fox.
There's a family of foxes next door.
They tend to pinch it. If not foxes, you get mice will eat it. Yeah. You need just to take a bite out of it and eat all of it, or spit the wax out after. Is it nice? Not with this on, but I will take it off.
I don't know where. Because each area is different, isn't it?
Exactly. It all depends on what flowers they're collecting.
So you'll know what it's
Oh.
good or not.
Mhm.
Is that a good one?
Tastes very nice.
Brilliant.
It's quite strong, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That means getting different flowers.
We've got a good assault when the plants up here anyway, that's for sure.
Because we're just going to keep the cars cat and the rest is just going to be wild stuff. And there's lots of other bees on these thistles, aren't there? Bucket-tailed ones and what have you.
Okay, that's a much better crop this year on there, isn't it?
What are they, plums or damsons?
Golden plum. Meant to be.
Sticky fingers.
There'll be lots of apples as well later if
Yeah.
they come up. Maybe have to have some
Help
apples.
yourself when you come up if you want any apples.
I do like a nice apple.
Just help.
Well, you're out of luck there, but help yourself.
Well, the only thing I'm on.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks a lot. Exactly. Okay, so that is now going to go. This one, sadly, got a few bits of brood in it. It's no good. We're going to sandwich that on top of the new super that we've put on, so that they've got some food, or they've got some honey, and they should now use that honey, eat it, turn it into wax, and start filling up these frames. The smoke has probably gone out because we've been talking for so long. Now all of this here, you know what, I'm going to leave that for the bees as well. I'm not going to take that. Now the roof won't sit on too well, but okay, that's that. We may have to relight the smoker. This one I expect to be empty. As I say, this one was quick. Okay, so we've lit the smoker again, and then what we do is we put a little layer of wet grass or green grass in the top, and that basically cools it, and it acts like a filter and cools the smoke down, because hot smoke would tend to upset the bees. So as you see, we've got quite a few holes in these supers, so as the bees have got lots of different entrances, they can and will block them up if they don't want them. This looks quite full, but I think this one, didn't we have an empty brood box on the bottom? We was hoping they was going to fill up. We've just got all the bees down. Basically I want to split this so as I can have a look in the side. Yep, that's just what I wanted them to do. They've now filled the bottom box up as well. So we've basically got a super on the bottom and a brood box on the top, and it looks to me as though that is packed solid. These bees seem a little bit more feisty than the others. But bees do normally tend to get like that when they think you're going to pinch their honey. We've got a snail hitching a free home now. This wild comb, because I supplied this without any foundation. So we can't tip this up and down the way you would normally. I'm going to get rid of that snout. We don't want a snail inside the hive. Oh, just got a sting there. Why do they keep stinging my right hand? It's as though they know. Got a bit of smoke on it just to try and mask that pheromone that they've put in there. That's all honey on that one. It may well be that the brood is now on the bottom and that's all honey, but these bees will definitely get requeened next year when we start using the queen castle. We'll be able to make up some new queens out of our buckfast bees, and we will requeen her to try and get some nice bees. We don't want stingy bees. So I'm quite happy with that hive, with the amount of build up I can see in it, but I'm not happy with the genetics of the bees themselves. So we will definitely be requeening that hive. our one-handed queen catcher out. So all in all, we've got a very good hive number 1, a very good hive number 2, a very good hive number 3, but that definitely needs requeening. These two are very accommodating, very docile bees. None of these bees come out and tried attacking, whereas the third hive did. As you can see, I've still got one buzzing around me. Everyone else is doing well. I'm absolutely dripping inside this bee suit, so I'm going to call it a day there. Thanks for watching. More from the Secret Bee Garden later.